Before entering the room,
Okay. What is it?
I propose you to agree upon. To show my sincerity, I won't be.
I don't agree. I mean, you want me to split the treasure with this amateur?
I don't agree either. He will only defile the precious relics left behind by the god of salt.
Well then, if the contract is not agreed upon, I will no longer serve as your consultant on. You will have to rely on your own experience to find whatever treasures are hidden.
You have the audacity to demand this!
If you want me to agree upon this contract, so be it. I just have one request, Mr. Shaw. If we discover the truth behind the god of salt, you must judge it fairly.
I can accept this arrangement. Well then, let's go.
This will be interesting.
Are these statues?
No. These are people.
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the god of salt.
How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin? Rain outlines your fate.
Solidified! Quake!
Look at this! It's filled halfway with salt.
Just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the god of salt.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is...
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it.
Hey! How can you use a relic of the god of salt for such—
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Order guide you. Quake!
Rain outlines your fate.
Rise! Huh, just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measure.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is a...
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless! Why would she get anything?
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, ones who break their contracts shall suffer.
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from
Will suffer the wrath of the rock. You...
Pay your dues.
Order guide you. Quake!
Leaving so soon.
Let me read you a verse.
Dodge this. This one will be frozen in time.
Crumble! Crumble! I will have order. Rise!
You can't run from death.
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, when people see the object of their dreams, how many are really I think we should be honest with each other. That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really... I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the chiefs. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago. When the During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for— We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and— We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli?
Naturally, of course. But I must add, come with me. All the—
Quake!
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the God of Salt had to fight back. Fight back against the evil Morax. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the God of—
Two pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are two separate relics. According to the contract, you could—
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take two relics at the same time.
This logic!
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed,
No! If I only take one half, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be no matter what. I must be faithful to her, even if it breaks the contract. I don't care.
so you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay. That is to say, you consign yourself to
That's okay. The God of Salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. As punishment, I will
Huh? The truth.
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be... I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the seven.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for... But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven.
No. No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade?
This sword is not a relic belonging to the God of Salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to...
As I said before, I only state the fact.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
It is a punishment after all. I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, Salt and betrayal.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened. This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never... The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release. No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here. But they need not have done so. For how could a god...
This must be a lie. A false history, all of it! Don't you dare try to shake my faith!
This is the price she must pay. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. Indeed. In ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to faith in a god who has already passed will do you. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax. All right then. Now. Treading old ground, one cannot help but be reminded of old...